Anyway, in case you watched that BTS video, I just posted it, I think, a couple of days ago. Alright, so we're talking, let me just minimize this. We're talking about the Dogwood 52-week challenge here. Let me bring up Lightroom and just maximize the webcam. Yes, I'm going with a webcam and I'm in my innerwear. Anyway, the thing is, I wanted to get this video out there before I run out of time for the month. So we're talking about the Dogwood 52-week challenge. It's a photography challenge created by a guy called Dale Forsh or Forche. I hope I've sort of balanced the pronunciation with his last name there. But it's a brilliant concept, and he's gone ahead and created 52 different themes for you, one shot per week, obviously. Now, just to backtrack a little bit, coming back to my motivation behind accepting this challenge and trying to do my best with it. So last year in 2018, I did find that I was running into a lot of obstacles when it came to designing concepts to shoot. Not that I do any fancy photography. I'm not like a fashion photographer or someone doing composite work, but I just wanted something to shoot per week, and it was kind of difficult for me to come up with something. And then also I wasn't really balancing the whole YouTube and day work. It was kind of in between a lot of things. So when I came upon this article on Petapixel, which was talking about Dale Forche's 52-week challenge, I was like, someone's already gone out there and created 52 different themes or concepts already for you. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I could do, I could kill two birds with a stone and what have you. I thought, let's do the photo challenge for the week. That gives me content for Instagram, and I'm also doing poems on Instagram, so that's a different video in itself. But apart from getting a photo done for Instagram, I thought let's capitalize and also make a YouTube video out of that. So that was my motivation, get the photography aspect done through Instagram, and at the same time get a video out a week for YouTube for 2019. Now, obviously, I didn't manage to do the video a week thing, but I'm glad that I managed to do the challenge per week. So let's get right into it. The first week was talking about storytelling, and about very amazingly timed as being the first week of the year. And it was talking about describing yourself through a self-portrait without actually showing your face. That's pretty interesting. On the one hand, it's a self-portrait, and I kind of like doing a self-portrait, but also do not like doing a self-portrait. I don't click selfies. Let's get that out of the way. But I am quite fascinated with self-portraits because I get to plan the shot and actually do a proper kind of photo studio kind of shot. So the three things that are to keep in mind before you go ahead with something like that. By the way, it doesn't matter which week of the year this is. You can do this, you can do these themes anytime that you'd like, anytime that you feel it interests you. Hopefully it will help some of you out. So 3 important things to keep in mind that I learned through this challenge, or rather any challenge you take up when it comes to photography. They always have if it's a theme, definitely you need to do a little bit of planning. So the 3 important things to consider, or steps I would say, would be to conceptualize, number 2 would be to plan, and number 3, of course, execute. So when it came to the conceptualization part of this, I wanted to like if you check out my social media, I'm someone who does a lot of different things. It's not like, okay, only photography or only acting or only writing poems. I kind of dabble in a lot of things, and that's just who I am. So the first thing was, let's just accept that, and even though it's like multiple things, let's see how we can capture that in one image. That was what it was for me. It could be different for you, obviously, but I wanted to get that image in my mind, and in order to get my thoughts in the right process or along the right highway, I wanted to write stuff. So I sometimes write on notepads, physical pen and paper, or I even use an app called Evernote. You can use anything that can fulfill that space for you. So when it came to this one, I wanted to have an inspiration for the image, and the inspiration came from something called health, wealth, love, and happiness juxtaposed with my cold reality, which is everyone has a cold reality that sometimes is not visible on social media. So I wanted to capture all of that. And for me, it was kind of like 6 elements eventually that ended up on the image. And it didn't start off as 6, but anyway, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So just coming back to my Lightroom here, let me minimize the webcam. So when it came to conceptualization, I kind of had an idea about how to get those 6 aspects done or captured. This is just a library for January 2019 for the 3 weeks that have gone by. So let me just go into this image here. Now I did my conceptualization, and then of course came the planning aspect. Now let me just hit home here again. Something that happened to me on this shoot, despite making a list of things that are required, like I made a list of props that would be needed for the shot, and I also made a list of equipment that I wanted to carry. You can shoot with as little equipment as you like, depends on what you're comfortable with. There's no rule that you have to shoot it with like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Whatever is fine with you. But despite me making a list, I still forgot something very, very important, and that was memory cards. The camera that I took upstairs with me to my terrace, I did not have the memory card in there, so I had to actually call my roommate, and thankfully those guys came up in quick time and they got me my memory card, so I managed to get the shot done. So big ups to them. But that just goes to show that yes, everything doesn't go as planned, but at the same time it's important to have something planned so that you have most of it taken care of, and the 1 or 2% that's not taken care of, hopefully something like that happens with you. And well, I hope you don't forget anything, but just to state the fact again. Finally, the execution stage, it was week 1. Let me just come back to the image. The execution stage, I was of course taking multiple shots. Since I was going to do this, I said, what, let's take advantage of that and click as many as I can, because I don't have too many shots of myself, no studio photos or anything. So I went ahead and I first started off with just one light. It was a video light, an LED, not really a flash gun, because it was dark and I wanted to be able to take that variable out of the equation. So the light was set, the exposure was set. So I took a couple poses, as you can see here. That's the light stand coming into frame there. And of course then I decided, let's get some background separation. So I added a speed light behind me, and then of course I had some more experimentation with poses, and with the intensity of the light, had to change some settings here and there. But that's just the execution. And of course one other important thing, this is the final image. I won't get into the editing part over here, because that's again subjective and depending on your skill level. So mine's pretty basic, and actually resorted to a preset in Adobe, so whatever works for you. But I wanted to talk about the fact that execution is also something you may face a challenge with, especially if you're someone like me.
Why is it moving? Why is it moving, bro?
I was overthinking, and I decided, what, finally it was a Saturday, I believe the 6th of January. I said, let's just go ahead and do it, and that's how I did it. Just to hit home again, it's important to conceptualize, plan, and then execute. That's about it. I don't want to talk too much in this video. Maybe another video about the different aspects about me that I decided to portray to that image. There's 6 elements there. If you find them, that's great. I kind of did this thing on Instagram, but I'll talk about it in the next video. Hopefully this helped you out, and thank you once again. Please do share your thoughts on this video and any suggestions that you may have. And if you're interested in taking part in this challenge, the 52-week challenge, subscribe to stay notified. That's about it. Thank you once again for your time. This is what happens when you leave doing something that you want to do, and then you come back to it afterwards. Anyway, let's see how 2019 goes.